Lord, you reign. Your name is exalted above all. Lord, you reign. Lord, you reign. Your name is exalted above all.
Jesus be exalted, for holy is your name. Jesus be exalted, for glorious are your deeds. Wonderful, merciful, graceful, faithful and kind you are to me. Your name will be exalted above all. Jesus be exalted, for holy is your name. Jesus be exalted, for glorious are your deeds. Wonderful, merciful, graceful, faithful and kind you are to me. Your name will be exalted above all.
Your name will be exalted above all. Your name will be exalted above all.
Jesus be exalted, for holy is your name. Jesus be exalted, for glorious are your deeds. Wonderful, merciful, graceful, faithful and kind you are to me. Your name will be exalted above all. Jesus be exalted, for holy is your name. Jesus be exalted, for glorious are your deeds. Wonderful, merciful, graceful, faithful and kind you are to me. Your name will be exalted above all.
Your name will be exalted above all.
Oh, magnify the name of the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. For he is worthy of our praise. His name will be exalted above all.
Your name will be exalted above Your name will be exalted above all.
We thank you. We bless you. We praise you. We love you.
Your name will be exalted above all.
There's nobody like you.
There's nobody like you.
There's nobody like you,
There's nobody like you. Your name will be exalted above all.
Agbelo, wokomasubada. Your name will be exalted above all.
Good evening to our cherished viewers. We welcome you once again to Perspectives, and this is episode 26, where we are going to focus on EPDRA, to know what EPDRA is, what they do, and all their various functions. I'm standing in for your regular host, Reverend D.N.A. Afram, and my name is Derrick, Sena, Gbesemete. And I would like to acknowledge, first of all, Madam Peace from USA, Madam Francisca Asano from UK, Madam T. Ruby from USA, former moderator Francis Amenwu, Presbyter Dr. and Mrs. Gbagbo, all in USA. And then shout out to my incredible host, my mentor, my pastor, Reverend D.N.A. Afram, and the wife, Mrs. Christine Akpene Afram, our beautiful Osofumami, who are all watching live. Due to some one or two reasons, Reverend is unable to join us for this episode 26. So I'm standing in for him. And then kudos to our team lead, led by Seriam Goka, Prosper Zane, Johnson, Gloria, Elom, Christian, Mr. Enes, Kwasi Adomensa, Mr. Aaron, Kwame Adeti, and our honorable administrator, Ruben Mauli. When we come back from this short commercial break, I'll introduce to you my guest for today. Stick and stay. Okay, sir. You are welcome back from that short commercial break, as I promised. This evening, I have with me an honorable man who works for the Evangelical Presbterian Church. He is the minister of the gospel and the executive director of EPDRA, in the person of Reverend Charles Kofi Asem-Bansah. I don't know why he won't be a Komla instead of a Kofi. So, Reverend, you are welcome.
Thank you.
How is your Sunday going so far?
Oh, it's been well.
It's been well.
Had a wonderful sermon at the La Parish Church
Wow.
this morning.
About faith and trust.
And it's been exciting. Yes.
For all those who haven't gone to church today, we entreat you to go and watch that powerful sermon.
Sure.
And you will be blessed.
Yes.
So, who is Reverend Charles Kofi Asem-Bansah? Before we delve into what EPDRA does.
Well, I am a son of the manse. I say a son of the manse because I'm a son of the one of the retired pastors of the EP Church Ghana.
Oh, it's in the blood.
Sure.
Oh.
And I come from Nyambusre in the Afajatu South District. I'm the eldest child of Reverend William Kosi Bansah, retired.
So, in the house of Reverend William Kosi Bansah, retired, were you born with a silver spoon in your mouth, as many people would say? Or you were born with the regular spoon or the wooden spoon?
It was nothing like a silver spoon in the mouth. It had been a struggle. My father was a teacher before he became a pastor. And he had a number of tragedies. I lost my mother when I was just 12, 13 years. And my siblings were so young. I had 3 other siblings who were so young when my mother passed away. So it's been a struggle My father remarried, and the wife as well passed. That woman also passed. The second wife also passed away. And you can imagine,
Wow.
it's not been like a silver spoon in the mouth.
So how was your education life? You all throughout basic education to tertiary to where you are right now?
Well, I largely attended the local primary middle school at Gbesemete. At a point in class 3, my father took me to Waji. There was an Evangelical Presbterian experimental school there that had a boarding facility. So since he was so eager to have a good education for the children, he decided to send me there to attend that school. But I just had a year stint.
So
Over there.
was the school in Waje considered as what we call these days as Saito?
Yes, it
You,
was
you,
like,
are, you are a Saito member.
sure, it was
Like many of us.
sure, but since I said I largely had my basic education at Gbesemete, you can imagine it
Yes.
was a Saito school all throughout.
Perhaps maybe there might be a preparatory school by
Aha.
then for the elites.
That was what my father was thinking Waje had.
Okay.
And that was why he sent me there. But
Not knowing there was a
unfortunately,
Saito
when I
waiting for
went
you.
there, the experimental school system collapsed.
Okay.
So after 1 year, I had to return to Gbesemete to continue with my basic education from class 4.
So considering the events in your life, was the education journey a smooth one or it was very rough or in between?
Yeah, at the time, the basic school ended at Form 4. But when I entered Form 1, middle school Form 1, my father decided that I should try the common entrance. So I did. And I was successful. So I went to the secondary school without finishing the middle school. So I had my GCE O level from Osino Presbyterian Senior High School.
Okay. So thereafter,
I went to Nyankpala Agri College. Then Nyankpala Agri College, that has become the UDS now, main campus.
so what heights have you attained in terms of education when it comes to agric? Because from sources, you are a well-renowned agric man, as you will say, an agric extension officer.
Well, as I said earlier, that I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. It was a difficult journey. I could have gone to the sixth form straight at that time, but we had this agri-college system that was paying the students, giving allowances to the students. So it means when I went to that college, I was not going to pay. I was rather going to be given allowances.
Wow.
So because of that, I had to go through that journey of going to agri college, be paid, not to be dependent on anybody, because I was virtually left alone. My
struggle
father,
for
yes,
yourself.
for myself. So I went to the agri college, graduated from the agri college, and after working for some time, I went for further studies.
Okay.
So I had my BSc Agric at UCC, University of Cape Coast, and
University
then
of Constant Confusion.
Sure. At the time it was, because there were a series of
Yes.
strikes and
Yes.
so forth.
Yeah.
But it has overcome that. Some of the best
Yeah.
now.
And then you have an MPhil in Greek
Yes,
from University of Ghana.
I came to Legon
Okay.
to pursue my Masters of Philosophy
Okay.
in Greek.
So how long have you worked for, totaling your working career in the public sector?
I worked from 1987 to 2022.
Okay.
So that is 35 years in the public
35
sector.
years
Yes,
working
in the public
in the
service.
public sector. Okay. By then you were Mr. So were you married by then?
No, I married quite late.
Okay.
I married in 2008. In fact, I spent almost my useful life in the north,
Okay.
and I was determined to marry from my hometown or somewhere in the south.
Okay.
So being there, I didn't have access to so many people that I wanted to marry. So it
And
was when I have
and your
to
marriage
come.
was blessed with how many children?
I have 2 children,
Wow. Wow.
a boy and a girl.
Wow.
Okay.
So, you being a reverend minister of the gospel, where were you baptized? Where did your Christian journey started from? And what inspired you to become a reverend minister?
Well, I was born at Nkunya in Chimuru, and at the time, I was told I was baptized over there.
Okay.
And when I went to school, that was when I had my confirmation at the senior high school. Had my confirmation, still in the EP church, to the EP church. And then when I was working at the North, Tamale, I was elected the chairman of the men fellowship. In fact, for the Upper Northern Presbytery, I was the first chairman when the men fellowship reached there.
So we'll come back to men fellowship later in our conversation, considering we don't have men fellowship in some congregations. So please note it, we'll come back to men fellowship.
But to add to, you say what motivated me?
Yes, what motivated you to be a reverend minister?
I was the most unlikeliest person to follow my father's footsteps.
Wow. No one ever imagined.
So, yeah, I said so because I was looking at the hardships that my father was going through as a minister.
Okay.
So I was never motivated a bit. But then something dramatic happened. You know, my work as a development worker in the Ministry of Agric is involved changing minds, changing the way people work and behave. As far as farming was concerned. So then I have been reflecting, but then I have become a very good Christian. So if I'll be able to change people to do better things for, the secular world, then it is possible I can also change minds concerning spirituality.
Okay.
That was when
you believe you had the influence.
Yes, and I had that desire to just do that for the Lord.
Wow. That is just mind-blowing. We have heard so much about your hometown, Nyangbosre, Nyangbosre. In just a minute, just sell your hometown to our viewers.
Good.
Yeah, in terms of tourism.
Good.
Let's know a bit about Nyangbosre in just a minute.
Nyangbosre is on the hill, on a mountain. And it is on the same hill with Abatime.
Okay.
The same mountain range with Abatime. And then the Afajatos and all that, that's the same mountain range. And Nyangbosre is a very cool place. When you manage to get to that place, you forget about all the struggles that you went through to arrive there. In fact, it's a relaxation place from the hustle and bustle of the urban areas and from mosquitoes. Because of the weather, we don't have mosquitoes there.
Wow.
So you can, without air condition, you can sleep well. The heat is okay. The heat is not there. It's just cool for relaxation.
So we believe very soon you will take the crew out to Nyangbosre to go and experience
You
the
have to go
serenity
there. You have to go. And when you are there, because of the height, you will see as far as Pando.
Wow.
Yes, and the Volta Lake. And it has a very wonderful scenery.
And it's a promising one.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you just need to go there. I recommend it for everybody.
So what kind of food is mainly there?
The place used to be...
Is there unique
Yes,
unique
the
food?
place used to be the home of this brown rice.
Okay.
But with time, it's been a difficult farming venture. So it fizzled out.
Which comes to play that most indigenes are farmers.
Yes.
Okay.
So they stopped the rice, but then they have gone into banana.
Okay.
And because of the weather, the banana does well and rives very well for use. Yeah. So for now, they farm in this maize, small pockets of maize, cassava, and cocoyam, plantain, and garden eggs. Vegetables.
It is evident that your hometown instilled some level of agriculture in you.
Sure.
Yeah, that is what has made you.
Sure, sure. At least I wanted to make a difference with agriculture from what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so a young person like me have been hearing EPDRA. What is EPDRA? What does EPDRA stand for? And can you briefly just introduce us to EPDRA and then its mission?
Well, let me just give you a little background of EPDRA. EPDRA is an acronym for Evangelical, Presbterian Development and Relief Agency.
Okay. Evangelical, Presbyterian Development and Relief Agency.
Yes.
Okay, so we have learned something new this afternoon.
Yeah. So the background is this. The EP Church Ghana has in its mission statement the propagation of the gospel holistically.
Yeah.
And that is spiritually, materially, and socio-culturally. As in Acts chapter 6, in the early church, we heard that 7 believers were appointed to take care of ministering on the table.
Okay.
So that they could free the disciples to attend to the spiritual needs of the believers. So the church, the EP church, following the same steps, decided to create an office or a department to take care of the material and the socio-cultural needs of its members.
So that also brings to bear a theme for 2024, which is caring for God's creation.
The church has been caring for
the
God's
church has been caring for God since
time
anything.
immemorial.
Yes.
Good. So EPDRA actually used to be the development department of the EP Church Ghana.
Okay.
So development partners channel their resources for development through this department to cater for the material needs of the people.
Okay.
Then it was this same department, therefore, in the late 70s and the 80s, the development partners channel food items, used clothing, and other essential materials or essential commodities through this department. For
So
distribution
those are some of the key projects and initiatives EPDRA did in the past.
No, I'm only giving you the
a brief of
background, a big
okay.
background before
Okay.
the coming into existence of EPDRA.
Okay.
Good.
Please go ahead.
Good. So the development partners, those days, those things were in short supply. What to eat?
Okay.
There was, everything was, the shops were empty. So for the people to be well fed, to listen to the word of God, development partners sent resources for distribution to people to take care of their welfare, so that at least they could be in a position to take in the word of God. But then as time went on, they realized that it was better to teach the people how to fish rather than to be supplying fish.
Yeah.
So they identified the bottlenecks of agriculture for food production or for development, those things that were hindering development. They identify those bottlenecks and decided to tackle them so that the people can generate their own income, food, without depending on handouts. So then they started channeling agriculture inputs and resources to through the development of office or the development department of the church, and to agri stations for agriculture extension to be carried out to teach people modern ways of farming, so that at least their productivity per area will increase. They will have food, they will sell and have their livelihood.
And also of a certain standard.
Exactly. Okay. So that went on. Then they also look at the bottlenecks of full participation of everybody in development. At the time, resources were usurped by men. So then came these gender issues too. So gender empowerment also came up, so that at least women who are marginalized at the time could also participate in development. Not only farming, but other aspects of development.
But did it focus mainly on farming?
No, not on farming.
Not only on farming.
So businesses, small scale businesses, support to them. So that was where women were featuring more, because they really wanted to balance the equation, so that women could also be empowered to do what the men were doing.
Okay. So my next question.
So now let me talk about EPDRA.
Yeah. Okay. We are now going to EPDRA.
We are now going to
so let's
EPDRA.
go to EPDRA.
Yeah. So as this went on, In the new millennium, that is the 2000s,
Okay.
NGOs, professional NGOs, they started coming into Africa. You talk about the Action Aid and so forth, the Christian Aid and all that. They started coming into Africa. And they felt more comfortable to start working with those professional NGOs,
Okay.
because they felt they were professionals. They could account better than the church department, development departments. So they started shifting their attention to these professional NGOs. So the funds that they were sending to the development department started fizzling out because they were now targeting the professional NGOs
For accountability.
because of they can do their work professionally. You know, they are well paid, they account well, they meet certain criteria of the development partners. So they felt more comfortable to work with the NGOs, these professional NGOs. Okay. So the church had a conference, the churches, in fact, the churches that had this development department, they had a conference.
About how many churches?
Oh, several. It was in the north.
Okay.
In fact, a whole lot of churches, you know, because every church will want to have, but development office or development department. So most of those people were also receiving donor funding, and they were also being affected. Presbyterian Church, Methodist Church, Catholic Church, and all those traditional churches. Assemblies of God. So they came together and brainstormed over what was going on. So at the end of the conference, the recommendation was that the churches should also have professional NGOs, so that at least they can also attract the funding from the donor partners. There was no other way of going back again. They must just go to the go with the new trend.
Otherwise, it can be considered as losing out on.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So the churches decided to do that. So the EP Church also decided to create an NGO, a non-profit organization. Okay. That was where EPDRA was born in 2005.
2005.
Yes.
Wow.
So EPDRA has a board to act professionally. EPDRA has a board, and the management, the staff, the management staff that take care of the day-to-day activities of EPDRA.
Okay.
And the Presbyterian executive of the General Assembly of the EP Church Ghana plays a supervisory role.
Okay.
Over EPDRA.
Okay. So viewers, if you care to know, we are in one of the buildings of EPDRA, where this episode 26, Focus on EPDRA, is coming to you live from. At this very juncture, we take a very short commercial break. We'll be back with more.
So when we come back, I will talk about the issue.
I think, yeah, that's it. I think we'll just
Friends, I am a great fan of Dela TV because of this special educative element of perspectives, a platform on which we are educated and as a result empowered in our life journeys. I therefore enjoy watching Perspectives.
Join us to learn from the life lenses of our seasoned guests with the host, Reverend DNA Afram. Perspectives coming to you every fortnight, Sundays at 4 p.m. For further enquiries, call 0249 820 162. Perspectives, my story, and inspiration.
We thank you. We bless you. We praise you.
All right, viewers, you are welcome back to Perspectives, and we are doing EPDRA in Focus. This is episode 26, of Perspectives. And so we are looking at EPDRA. We have looked at the birth of EPDRA way back in 2005 and what led to its birth. So now, Reverend Asem-Bansah, can we go and then look at the core values and the missions of EPDRA?
So EPDRA is guided by this vision of raising the human society in Ghana to a level without poverty, in which every member of a society can exercise their right to life of dignity in a sustainably developed environment in Ghana.
Okay.
So as our mission, EPDRA is to work with the poor and marginalized, execute poverty eradication projects in any manner which may be deemed to be non-profit making by law, as well as empower the poor and the vulnerable in society. Although EPDRA is a denominational institution, its operations serve people based solely on their need, not their affiliation, regardless of gender, religion, ethnicity, or social status in society. So this ties into the mission of the church, bringing light where darkness is.
Yes.
You see,
So it's in a great alignment with the mission statement, the vision statement, everything about the church.
Yes.
So as to say.
Yes. So when EPDRA contribute to this mission by creating opportunities through agriculture extension services, skill development, access to finance, to businesses, advocacy, educational infrastructure support, among others, we lift people out of the darkness of poverty, ignorance, marginalization, disease, and hunger. So we have core values.
So
as
EPDRA is a light, a very bright light.
Big light,
A
like
big
the
light,
church. Yes. So we have core values as social justice and equity, accountability, self-sufficiency, working with government without fear to criticize, autonomy, gender, and diversity. It's all about people. It's all about people. So our operations are in the following thematic areas: agriculture and environment, economic and gender empowerment, health and sanitation, provision and improvement of church and educational infrastructure, financial sustainability, institutional capacity building, humanitarian relief interventions, diversity and inclusion.
Okay. So those are the core values in the
And
missions
the
of
operations, thematic areas.
EPDRA. Okay, so one may ask, what are some of the key initiatives or key projects that EPDRA has undertaken in the past, and then what are some of the impacts that it had on humanity?
Good. To mention a few, we can talk about the whole farms, where so many people acquire skills in not traditional agricultural enterprises such as snail farming, mushroom cultivation, and grass cutter, reading, and so forth.
Okay, so I don't mean to cut you short, but viewers, if you have the 2024 yearbook, you can just see the EPDRA project profile on page 34, ranging to page 35. The EPDRA project profile, the EPCG Agric Training Center at Akwepe Avenue, Agric program at Vekolemu, Agric program Dambai, Upper Northern Presbyterian Rural Development Programs at Yendi, Saboba, Chareponi, the Agenda 21 projects, the EPCG Solar Water Disinfection Project, EPCG National HIV/AIDS TB Program, and EPCG Sir John Wilson Vision and Optical Center. So it covers a wide range.
Good. So let's jump to 4.
Yeah. So, what is EPDRA's approach to community development, and then what strategies do you use to empower the indigenes locally?
Thank you. EPDRA usually leverages the church to enter communities for development work.
Okay.
Because we have the presence of the church in the communities, we go through the leadership of the church, and then we are able to enter the communities for development work.
So the church does helps a lot.
Yes. Through community engagements, local capacities are identified and harnessed as a means of empowering people. EPDRA also rely on demand-driven approaches for development. So when somebody approaches us that, oh, we need this, we need that, then we can intervene.
So viewers, if you have any question concerning EPDRA and its related activities, just post it in our comment box, and then we will delve a little bit into it. Whatever questions or comments you have, please put it there. We'll read it across to all other viewers across the world. So my next question, what role does EPDRA play in terms of disaster response and relief efforts, and how do you collaborate with other organizations in these efforts, considering we are in the rainy season and by the time you realize there is a natural disaster happening here and there? For example, the one we saw on our social handles yesterday on the whole Accra main road at Drapo. So in terms of those situations, not limited to that area particularly, but in terms of the natural disaster, how do you collaborate?
Well, EPDRA has traditionally been involved in relief provision during humanitarian disasters.
Okay.
And one key example is the role EPDRA played in EP Church Ghana's relief intervention when the Akosombo Dam spillage disaster occurred last year.
Yes.
In fact, EPDRA spearheaded the church's effort to intervene with support, relief support to the people.
In fact, I want to use this medium to congratulate your office and commend you for the good work done, because it wasn't easy. It was not an easy one. I saw it. I saw what EPDRA did for the people way back in the affected areas. Congratulations to your office.
Thank you. However, we identified a gap in our operation as far as relief intervention is concerned. The gap being our disaster preparedness. There must be an elaborate and deliberate plan or strategy for relief preparedness before disaster strikes.
So before you go on, do you think we are prepared for any form of disaster?
That is the gap I'm talking about. Because when it happened, we had to rely on support from donors, from church members, individuals, and congregations that we appeal to support us. And in fact, I must use this opportunity to thank the EP Church for how they came out with their support. People donated materials, food, sanitary materials, clothing, water, and all others for us to be able to intervene in the situation. But then, when I said there should be an elaborate plan or strategy, it means we need to have provisions down. In fact, that is what CRS, for instance, is known for. So we need to have that disaster preparedness strategy so that whenever something, a humanitarian disaster occurs, we can intervene without having to now be appealing to people to support us.
Okay,
and
so
that is what we are going to work on seriously.
So realizing the gap in disaster management, has there been any initiative to close that gap should any natural disaster occur? Has there been any initiative so far?
Yes, so at the moment we have developed proposals to be able to address that gap. So we are praying that those proposals would, there will be positive response to them so that at least we can get some funding to be able to carry our plan out.
So members are asking, how does EPDRA promote sustainable livelihoods and economic empowerment among the marginalized in society?
You know, when we develop people's skills, it becomes part of them forever.
Okay.
So they can use that to continue to earn their livelihoods. So that is what we talk about as sustainable development. So we are doing all kinds of skill development. The activity center here, we support women to learn skills which become part of them forever. Their whole lifetime. When we support businesses and they thrive and they become big businesses, the people in their lifetime earn their livelihoods.
They don't become a liability.
No, from those businesses. So that is the way. And when we educate people and their minds are open up, it becomes an empowerment for people to earn their livelihoods.
So just a follow-up question, but this one we are delving a little bit into the healthcare sector. I must commend the EP Church for establishing health facilities all over the country. Some in Ho, Dambai, Germany, up north. They have variety of facilities. Some bigger facilities, hospitals, clinics, health centers. So my question, so what healthcare services and health education program does EPDRA offer? And how do you address the healthcare challenges in the rural areas? I know EPDRA has a pharmacy. I don't know whether is it only one pharmacy?
We have two
pharmacies
at the moment. Yes.
At the moment,
yes.
Okay. So what's healthcare services and the health education programs do you offer?
You know, the EPDRA used to be responsible for the health institutions that the church have. Okay. Unfortunately, or by the church's decision, a department of health had been created. Okay. So the clinics, the hospitals have been given to that health department to take care of. But what we do mainly is preventive health care. Okay. That is what we do. And this we do through maybe provision of potable water so that waterborne diseases will not affect the people. We also treat water through solarization. Okay. We use solar to treat water, which we term as SODIS project.
Okay, so one of the EPDRA projects.
Exactly. Okay. So when we also educate people, especially women, on their health and children's health, then we are able to prevent diseases that affect them. Otherwise, they would have been suffering from those diseases. So our aim is to protect public health for now, because we don't deal directly with the health institutions anymore.
So, so as to say, we are talking of the preventive. So what happens if there should be the need for engaging in the creative aspect of healthcare?
When we talk of creative, what do you exactly mean?
When I talk of, because we are talking about the preventive measures,
Yes.
As part of the health education modules.
Yes.
So do you have any plans of the creative systems liaising with the healthcare department of the EP Church to also focus on the creative side? Because the creative side, I mean, also needs some form of relief items to work with in some of our facilities.
Well, the only area we collaborate.
Okay.
So these particular preventive issues that I'm talking about, if we try to prevent and then disease still befalls people, they come in. So, for instance, at some of their clinics or hospitals, we provide potable water.
Okay.
So that at least they will use water that is safe.
Okay.
When we address sanitation, then people who would be affected by diseases, by sanitation-borne diseases, would be
Also
avoided.
be catered for.
Exactly. So that is the way we work hand in hand. So it is when it becomes beyond us. But then we still support them in their infrastructure. We receive funding for some of their projects. So that is the way that we collaborate with the health department. So if we talk about the creative, that is where maybe we come in.
Okay, okay. That is laudable. In the era of human rights that we find ourselves in this 21st century, how does EPDRA advocate for human rights and social justice? And what specific issues do you focus on?
We actually partner similar sister church organizations to identify issues that militate against the development of people.
Okay.
And we play advocacy roles to address them. Okay. A typical example is the HIPIC project. You know, when Ghana was declared HIPIC, there were projects that were supposed to take people out of poverty. That was channeled through the government. EPDRA partnered with other similar church organizations to monitor the use of the funds so that they avoided misapplication, misdirection of the funds to the target people. Okay. So that is how we play advocacy for the people to ensure that whatever is meant for them, they get it.
Okay. So my last question before we go on a very short commercial break. So as an individual or as a church or any other organization, how can I get involved with EPDRA's work? Or what are some of the opportunities that are there for me to volunteer or to be partnered with?
Good. This is an area that we are trying hard to explore so much and put in place a system where we can actually deliberately attract volunteers to partner with us to undertake our programs.
So volunteers, do you mean locals here or exchange programs?
Locals in particular,
okay.
Because we need our people, our young people to get involved in the work that we are doing. So we normally establish plantations to mitigate climate change as a contribution to the mitigation of climate change.
Okay.
You know what climate change is doing to our world today. Yeah. So volunteers, we can attract volunteers to work on our plantations with us. People can plant trees for us on our plantations. We don't have the staff. What we do at the moment is to use, in fact, it's also a voluntary groups. We call them eco clubs in the areas that we establish the plantations. So they take care of the plantations when we are away, when we establish them with them. They take care of it.
Someone once said, we are no longer in the era of global warming. It's now global boiling.
Sure. In fact, we can attract people to help in the establishment of this plantation, so that at least young people can also gain some experience in development work.
Yeah. So as to be independent and then fend for themselves.
Exactly.
Viewers, you are still live on Dela TV, and this is Perspective episode 26. The focus is on EPDRA, and I have the EPDRA boss here with me in the person of Reverend Charles Kofi Asem-Bansah. Please put in your questions in the comment box. We come back after this short commercial break to see how best we can address them. Take and stay. We'll be right back.
Your name is exalted above
That Perspectives is reaching out to lives everywhere, not only on the continent of Africa, but
Jesus be exalted, for glorious are your deeds. Wonderful, merciful, graceful, faithful and kind you are to me. Your name will be exalted above all. Jesus be exalted, for holy is your name. Jesus be exalted, for glorious are your deeds. Wonderful, merciful, graceful, faithful and kind you are to me. Your name will be exalted above all.
Your name will be exalted above all. Your name will be exalted above all.
Jesus be exalted, for holy is your name. Jesus be exalted, for glorious are your deeds. Wonderful, merciful, graceful, faithful and kind you are to me. Your name will be exalted above all. Jesus be exalted, for holy is your name. Jesus be exalted, for glorious are your deeds. Wonderful, merciful, graceful, faithful and kind you are to me. Your name will be exalted above all.
Your name will be exalted above all. Your name will be exalted above all.
Oh, magnify the name of the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together, for he is worthy of our praise. His name will be exalted above all.
nobody like you.
There's nobody like you, Lord.
There's nobody like you. Your name will be exalted above all.
Agbelo, Wokomasubada.
All right, viewers, you are welcome back. You are still with us on Dela TV, and this is Perspective, episode 26, with the EPDRA boss, Reverend Charles Kofi Asem-Bansah. I have some comments here on Facebook, and shout out to Presbyter Mrs. Cynthia Dodo Buama. You are a tutor at Nurses Training College Ho. You are an ardent viewer of Dela TV. Sister Cynthia, greetings to you. From Wilberforce, Bodo, good evening, and I'm watching you live from Sogankofe. Please, we need Dela TV on multi-TV channel so that we can watch it easily. That is a comment that has touched my heart so far. We all need Dela TV on multi-TV so that we can watch easily and then get informed about our church, what we do, and then sell the church to the whole world. Thanks for that comment. Eddie Harriet is also watching. Bella Dovi. Dorothy Ewenam Achu Abiemo says she's watching live with her daddy and mentor, Reverend Asem-Bansah. Well done, man of God. That is from Dorothy Ewenam Achu Abiemo. And Master Kelvin Bright Agbenyefia is also watching live. Happy belated birthday, Master Bright. We'll party very soon. All right, so Reverend Asem-Bansah. But before that, please keep your comments coming in. We'll round up with Reverend Bansah very soon, and then we'll have Mr. Sedem on Zoom to educate us more about ongoing EP Church census to commence very soon. So we'll go and then take our final lap of questions. And then we are looking at some of the challenges of EPDRA. What challenges does EPDRA encounter? And then what are some of the measures to overcome them?
The major challenge of EPDRA is funding.
Okay.
We undertake projects and we have a lot to do. And as a professional body, the staff that we hire must be paid professionally. It is not what maybe the main church workers take. As a professional body, you must attract a highly skilled personnel to work for the NGO. As I said, we had gone professional because of the trend that was going on at the time. And to attract these professionals, you must pay them well. EPDRA has some businesses, but it's a non-profit organization. So even though we are able to sustain the businesses, we are not making much profit to be able to fund our programs. So therefore, we need a lot of funding. At the moment, we depend solely, much more heavily on a Bremen mission to fund our programs. Which what they send is not adequate, very inadequate to be able to fund all our programs. So therefore, what we are doing is to expand our funding base. We are diversifying through proposal writing to other donor agencies, striking partnerships with other donor partners, so that at least we can expand our funding base to be able to
cater for other programs,
sponsor our programs, and then attract the professionals that we require to work. In fact, some of our stations now don't have staff because we are not able to employ them and pay them. So if we are able to have enough funding, then all our programs will be catered for, and our impact will be more felt in the church out there and everywhere internationally.
So how do you measure your impact on human lives, and how do you evaluate the effectiveness of the programs?
We normally depend on success stories that people have, testified that, oh, because of EPDRA, we have done this. We are like this. We are like that. And then we interview stakeholders. We have short, medium, and end of term evaluations that are carried out. So
Which formats?
that inform us whether our impact, we've made some impact or not. And EPDRA also receive clean bill of health from our donor partners because they monitor our activities. They come over annually to supervise whatever they send money for us to do. So if we have clean bill of health, then it means we are doing what is right. So that is also another way of measuring our impact
and the effectiveness of the
of
programs.
the projects that we undertake.
So this is a question coming from one of our social handles. It says, the church has a vast land meant to be for EPDRA at Saboba. Quite a number of housing facilities and offices meant for the workers, no longer in use, as well as abandoned farms left for only the caretaker. What is the church doing about all this?
So I've already indicated that because of our funding base, that is why some of the stations are left without staff, and activities that we should have been undertaking, we are not doing that. But then very soon, we hope that what we are planning to do to expand our funding base, will be able to have projects that will be able to cover all our stations, and then those stations will be reactivated for development work to reach everybody in the church.
So in such a situation, do you think we should wait for quite too long for our lands to be encroached on?
No, we are protecting our lands. For now, whatever it will take, having land documents, we are working on that at Dambai, we are doing that at Kwepe, we are doing same and other areas.
So is there a fence wall around it?
We are not able, the land trusts are big. It is not possible for us to be able to fence them. But what we can do to protect them is to get genuine documents on them, so that at least we can avoid litigations in the future. So that is what we are currently doing, whilst we pursue projects that will revive those stations.
So that has been answered. My final question before we let you go. What are EPDRA's future plans and goals, and then how do you want to see EPDRA evolving in the next few years?
Well, the prognosis of EPDRA at the moment is good. So with clear-cut policies on programs around disaster relief, preparedness, as I've already said, volunteerism, if we develop those programs also for people to participate in our activities, and we attract more partnerships and funding, EPDRA can become a very vibrant organization at the local, national, and international levels, and become the face of the EP Church Ghana. That is our desire, to become the face of the EP Church Ghana. I said that EPDRA became an NGO in 2005. So it means that next year we are celebrating our 20 years
Yes, wow.
anniversary.
Wow.
And we want to leverage on that to be able to publicize our activities, attract attention to EPDRA through creation of websites and other things so that at least we can attract funding. We want to make it big so that at least EPDRA will be noticed.
So as
we want to be
say,
visible through that.
Before we continue, for you to elaborate on the anniversary of EPDRA, the Light TV is here for you to partner with us.
Good. That is already. We won one partner already.
We've won one partner.
Good,
The Light
good.
TV is here to do that for you.
Good.
Yeah, you can continue.
We have already struck. There are some NGOs that have already expressed interest in partnering with us, partnering us to celebrate the 20th anniversary, and that will make us to be visible and to attract the funding that we need. So if we add that up with a well-crafted 5-year strategic plan, then EPDRA at 25, I think will be a few steps closer to the desire that we want to have as a face of the Evangelical Presbterian Church Ghana. So we need the support of the church members. We need the support of the leadership of the church. And we need support of everybody who cares about human beings, because we are into human development. Support us, whether you are an EP church member or not. You are an organization that is concerned with the development of people. Support us so that through us, your dreams of human development can be realized. Long live the EP church. Long live EPDRA. Long live Ghana. Amen.
Amen. I was about to ask of you to give your concluding words, but I realized that you have already done that. You catered for that already. This has been a very interactive session with Reverend Charles Kofi Asem-Bansah, the director of EPDRA, here with me for the 26th episode of Perspectives. I just want to say a very big thank you for honoring our invitation to elaborate more into EPDRA, what EPDRA stands for, the project of EPDRA. And then I am hoping for a part 2 of this conversation, because there are a lot of questions that people still haven't finished typing. So we promise you, viewers, that we are going to align all your questions and then do a part 2 of this so that we address certain issues and concerns of EP church members. Thank you very much, Reverend. Thanks for gracing the episode for us.
I'm also very grateful for the opportunity to talk about EPDRA. We have not been too visible, and I believe through such a medium will become more visible. So I thank you so much. I also want to thank the church leadership, the board that has given me the opportunity to serve as the executive director for EPDRA.
Okay.
God bless you all.
God bless you, Reverend Charles Kofi Asem-Bansah. That has been a very nice conversation. I look forward to a part 2 of this. And viewers, very soon we will be having a guest on the show, Mr. Sedem Akafu. Or is it? Okay, we'll go for a short commercial break and then we'll delve into another issue, but not relating to EPDRA. It is about the census, which is yet to kickstart in the EP Church Ghana. Stick and stay. We'll be right back.
Okay. All right.
at my side. The video position.
Be exalted above all. Jesus be exalted, for holy is your
Derrick, am I put at my
name.
side the video?
Yes.
Okay.
Jesus be exalted, for glorious are your deeds.
Hello.
Wonderful, merciful,
Hello.
graceful.
Am I clear?
Wonderful, and kind you are to me.
Am I clear? All right. Where you going? All right, viewers, you are welcome back. As I said, we'll be having a Zoom conversation with one of our own, Presbyter Sedem Akafu. Presbyter Sedem, it's been a while.
Hi, Derrick.
Hi.
It's been a while. You guys are doing good.
Thank
I
you.
love this team, right?
Thank you. We miss you a lot. When are you coming to give us some ideas?
Oh, I've been in touch. So, you know, I'm always at the background doing my own thing.
Of course.
I like being at the background.
Yes.
And whilst you and Reverend are from the camera.
You people like pushing us forward.
So that I pop in and out of every time.
Yeah. Okay. So we want to quickly talk about census. What is census, and then why is the Evangelical Presbyterian Church Ghana undertaking a census? Because we have seen certain flyers on our social media handles about EPCG doing a census. So what is all this about?
Thanks very much. Very grateful. Let me thank the producers of the Perspective Show for giving us this opportunity to explain what the journey the church will be taking from the 7th to 31st of July. If you say a census is simply an official count or a survey of a population. So you see in Ghana, so we are doing a census, we are counting people, we want to know people. But what the EP Church is doing is more than a count. Over the few days, I've heard why a church doing census. I said, okay, before we even start Christmas, one of the readings we hear is that there was a census. So if you read Luke 2, 1-2, there was a decree Augustus Caesar and say, let there be census. But why is the EP Church doing it? The EP Church is undertaking this census to improve upon its administration. We want to focus on our members and even make the best use of our members. Where are they? We are very sure one of the great resources we have as a church is our people. But where are our people? Where are they? What are they doing? The makeup of the church will be revealed through this church. So this data gives us a reliable information, verifiable one, to make decision. It is said that the quality of decision is based on the data you have. So the best, or the great data we have, the better our decision. So the church is conducting census to improve upon its administration and make best use of its people all over the world.
All right, viewers, just to inform you, Presbyter Sedem Akafu is joining us from Zoom, and he's speaking from Akosombo. My second question is, whose decision is it to conduct a census in the EP Church Ghana?
Okay, thanks very much. So, Executive Council, the General Assembly Executive Council. The General Assembly Executive Council is the second highest decision-making body of the church. Okay, immediately after General Assembly comes the General Assembly Executive Council. Sometime in December 2022, the Strategic Planning Committee, after review of the first ever documented strategic plan, made this recommendation that decision, the General Assembly Council, then after deliberation at its second quarter meeting in May 2024, took the decision that the census should be conducted. So this is a decision of the General Assembly Executive Council. and not any other individual, but the second highest decision-making body of our church.
Okay, so what the importance of the census to the church, if I may ask?
So this is, like I said earlier, this is just to help us in planning and decision-making. You see, the census is aimed at providing data that helps the church leaders in their decision-making. It helps us in our programming and helps us in community building, our outreach and evangelism. And embedded in the census, we will be carrying some questionnaires that will give us feedback and how we should improve how we conduct our church and take care of our members and how to instigate the growth of the church. So it is very important, one, basically for decision-making. We are also aiming that this census will give us a database in it. So like we said, some other congregations say we have a database, but this is just more than a database. We normally say we use one bird to kill one stone to kill two birds. But this one, we are using one stone to kill three birds. That's how we are going with it. So one, we are having a head count to know the statistics. Two, we build a database with it. Two, three, we'll get a good feedback from our members for leaders at all the courts. When we meet all the courts at the General Assembly level, the Presbytery level, the district level, and the congregational level, to inform them in their decision-making. That, the decisions they make is what governs the church and what drives the growth of the church too. So this census is supposed to then help us in our forward movement and in our strategic planning.
Okay, so we know that we are in an era of data security. How secure are the data to be provided by the church members?
I can assure you and every member of the Evangelical Presbterian Church that the data being collected is very secured. You see, this data is purely for EP Church internal planning use only. It will not be revealed to anyone to be sending you SMS to be telling you, "Loan, we are selling this medicine." No, it is for our internal planning only. And only authorized persons by the moderator of the General Assembly, mandated by the General Moderator Assembly, can have access to this data. So from the very time of the collection of the data, it hits straight a central database, and that database, I can assure the only two people in this whole world for now has access to it, the moderator and someone else. Okay, so no one else has access to that. And two, we are also telling everyone that the Data Protection Act 2012 at 843, which guarantees the right to privacy of everyone, that privacy that is enshrined under Article 82 of the 1992 Constitution, applies to this. So legally, we are also bound. You will not give us your data and found it with maybe say cocoa seller anywhere. You will not find us data, and the data will then be leaked to any other place government seller. It is secured, it is protected, highly secured at the highest security you can find in this world. Very encrypted, and you are sure that we are sure there will be no data breach.
Top-notch security.
Up very much. The latter the moderator is a lieutenant colonel, aside being a priest. So you should understand that it is under highly guided security.
So what will be the census modalities? My last question for you.
So this is a very important one. Thank you very much. We are expecting that by now all congregations would have appointed their enumerators.
Okay.
Would have appointed their enumerators. The national level, the national team has already been constituted, and this is made up of the national members of the strategic planning committee, some co-opted members, and I'm proud to know that some of if you see the video being released, then you should know that there's people in your team that is on this committee. So you should know that we have the best of the people on the team.
We have the men. We have the men.
We have the men, sure. So the national team have already been constituted. The Presbytery team, there've been some briefing gone already. We are expecting that the Presbytery teams and the district and the congregational teams would have been constituted now. The census will be done at the local level, okay, the base of the church, the congregational level. That is where it will take place. Okay, so the teams at the congregation are the most important people we have. After forming all these things, we have done some stakeholder briefings already. But this is from the 7th of July. We expect that at the congregations, people will be closing normal than earlier. So if you know that your normal closing time is 12 o'clock, let's try and modify our services so that we can close at least by 10:30. We are closing to make enough time for data taking. We expect that how should the data be taken? There are two forms. There's a form A that captures individual data, and form B that is a collation sheet. The collation sheet is after the head count. You have the thing. The enumerators will have this form. They have the form and they'll distribute it. The idea is that we don't want the forms to go onto general public platforms. You want it done at the basic level at the congregations. So you don't pick the form on any project and say you are filling. Ensure that it's coming from your congregation. We want the data from the congregations for its validity, reliability, so that we can trust that the data coming out are top-notch data coming from our congregation, not from some wayside people filling in.
Let me interrupt you a bit.
Sure.
These forms, are they going to be soft copy or printout?
Okay. We are in digital age, right?
Yes.
So the forms actually has been designed, they are electronic formats, and that can be filled. But we know that there are limitations. So some hard copies are also made available. But the preferred is that everyone fill the soft copy. That one goes straight into the central database. But there are hard copies. We know that there are some hard to reach areas, some territories that have internet connectivity issues. So the enumerators will then have to put the hard copy, secure this form, and later we input them into the central database. So there's a blend of it. But the primary one is the soft copy one, electronic format one, that anyone that can use an iOS phone or an Android phone can have access to and use. So when we divide these people, we are supposed to divide the people into some age categories. We are trying to create them in the generational groups. So we have up to the 12 years, then we have the teen people, we have the youth, the young adults, then the age demarcations are clearly on the form, and that will be counted. So after the demarcation, when we are about doing harvest, so maybe that better not geography, brother better, the way we divide into the different, similar way, we want the people to also, you break them into the various age categorization, and then we assign enumerators to them. Probably, I would say minimum assign 2 enumerators to each group. These people will then do the head count and record the head count and the form B, the collation sheet. Then they can we will send the form A in a QR form. So those who can easily access, you, Derrick, and co, who are computer guys, we know they are BBCs. They say they got born before computer. So those people, BBC, yes, born before computer. The BBCs, we expect that the enumerators and the young ones will help input, take them through the form and help input. But you and your colleagues, those who are the tech savvy, who can use the phone and all those things, when you have the QR code from your group, you should be able to enter and input the data straight away. It hits our server. So when these ones are done, we are expecting that to be done over the 4 weeks, that at least we can capture everyone. And so 7th, 14th, 21st, 28th, then we are done. Okay, so
throughout the month of July.
Throughout the month of July, every day we should be doing it. So people should be counted just once. The fact that if you are counted on the 7th, please, you should not avail yourself to be counted on the 14th. Neither should you be avail yourself to be counted on the 3rd week. Everyone is supposed to be counted and registered once, one and one only at the congregational level. So that's how we expect.
We will be glad if after this census, there will be a focus-driven approach on the youth ministry.
I agree. So, what I am aware of is that even the youth ministry, yes. So you call it very good youth ministry properly. Then this, if you look at the age categorization, I have tell you a clear generational group trending. So you have the teenagers. We have the 20 to 35. Generally, if you define youth, it ends at 35. From 36, you are a young adult. Okay, you are no longer youth. but there are distance. So that's a different one. We might have to come together with YPO. But I'm aware the youth policy is being reviewed, and in the review, I'm sure some of this will be everything. And two, one of the things I can say that maybe the strategic plan also sees through this and has helped in instigating policy, and council is having a look at it. So yes, youth ministry and the church in its organization in general will be looked at the way we do evangelism, which we focus. If you're able to do some of these things, you'll know that there'll be proper nurturing, okay? Nurturing and caring for every age bracket. See, the needs of the people in the teen ages are different from those from 20 in the youth ages. The teen ages are in school, they are focusing. How do we nurture them? Those in the youth ages are now working and employment issues and those things. How do we disciple them? Those in the young adults after marriage and all those things. So we should, from this data collection, there will be an intentional church nurturing in how we disciple our people to help in our church growth, retain our members, sustain them, and help in the growth.
So it has been a pleasure talking with you, Presbyter Sedem Akafo, speaking from Akosombo. We look forward to seeing you very soon.
Thank you very much, Derrick. And I will be gladly joining you guys soon. And let me say congratulations, Dela TV. You are really bringing light to where there is darkness. You are opening up our church, and we very much appreciate it. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
God bless you. Have a good evening. And before I go, sir, I would like to acknowledge Madam Peace from USA, Madam Francisca Salu from UK, Madam T. Ruby from USA, our former moderator of the General Assembly of the EP Church, right, Reverend Francis Amewu, or Very Reverend Francis Amewu. Presbyter Dr. and Mrs. Bagbo from USA for all your support. And my big shout out to Dr. and Mrs. Maudo watching us from Afienya. Thank you very much for your support. Shout out to my incredible host, Reverend DNA Afram, who for some reasons could not join us for this episode 26 of Perspectives, which focus is on EPDRA, or was on EPDRA. And Reverend Afram's wife, our beautiful Madam Christine Akbene Afram, also watching us live. Kudos to my team led by Seriam Buka, Prosper Zane, Johnson, Patabui, Gloria Menso, Elomboni, Christian Wakui, Mr. Enes Kosi Adomensa, and Mr. Aaron Kwame Adeti, and our administrator, Mr. Ruben Mauli. It has been an insightful evening, an incredible one for that matter. And our thanks also goes to Reverend Charles Kofi Asem-Bansah for gracing this Perspective episode 26, focus on EPDRA, for us this very evening. My name is Derrick Sena Gbesemete, stepping in for Reverend DNA Afram. Have a good evening, viewers.
Your name will be exalted above all. Your name will be exalted above all. Jesus be exalted, for holy is your name.